Welcome back. It's the fall of 1982. E.T. was big at the box office. John Cougar, still no Mellencamp, owned the airwaves, and the video game arcade was king. Donkey Kong, Defender, Centipede, you name it. And one arcade in particular, southwest of the Quad Cities in Ottumwa, Iowa, became for a moment the most popular place on the planet.
After like Centipede and Make Tracks, but I love modern games too.
The sight of a man walking down Main Street in a referee's jersey is nothing out of the ordinary in Ottumwa, Iowa. Everyone here knows him, remembers the arcade that he opened here called Twin Galaxies, and ever since the early 80s, the name Walter Day has ranked right up there with Donkey Kong and Pac-Man.
I was the official scorekeeper for the video game industry.
And so I called out to Ottumwa, Iowa, and talked to these people.
And we ended up calling up Walter.
I contacted Walter.
Walter put together the only infrastructure that serious video game players could even become attracted to.
And I called the phone number, and Walter answered.
Walter
Day.
It's a story captured in two big-time documentaries, Chasing Ghosts, as seen there, and The King of Kong. Walter Day and Twin Galaxies have gone on to become legends in the video game world. Well before the internet, video gamers simply called Walter and the arcade, who kept track of all the high scores just like they still do online today. Even Guinness uses those records.
It's just something that happened because there was the need, and I said, well, hey, let's start a scoreboard, and everybody went for it. Next thing I know, Twin Galaxies is the most famous arcade in the world, and Ottumwa is proclaimed the video game capital of the world.
That was 1982. Even Life magazine got in on the action, setting up shop downtown, capturing the country's best video gamers in what's become an iconic picture.
And it's become possibly the most famous photograph generated by the entire worldwide video game industry. It's sort of like the Iwo Jima photograph of the video game world, because everybody, even if they're not into video games, says, oh, I've seen that before, I recognize that. It's gone mainstream and it's part of the psyche of the time.
Hard to believe, but it's been 30 years since video game champions from around the world came here to Ottumwa, Iowa. As you can see, the arcade is long gone, shut down in 1984. But the legacy of Twin Galaxies and Walter Day lives on today.
There's some great things that happened here back in the 80s, and we certainly we're the first place where ever competitive video gaming took place.
The unique history plays out throughout the city and in the halls of the Chamber of Commerce as well. The city moving forward with plans to help give that history a bigger role in Ottumwa's future.
The dream is to bring the International Video Game Hall of Fame here in a very big way, in a very modernistic and very large way. Something that will be absolutely amazing, larger than Cooperstown.
History's first official set of video game trading cards.
The city will also unveil historical plaques next month with plans for a video game walk of fame.
We're very proud of it, and we're working towards getting a museum. We have a number of donations and artifacts related to the video game industry that we'd like to display in a museum.
Even independent video game developers are getting swept up in Ottumwa's newfound momentum. Out on the Mooney family farm, on a whim, the family developed a video game for mobile systems called Buster Ball.
Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of
We have that label, Video Game Capital of the World, which gives us a leg up over lots of other competing towns that may want to have video game productions happening.
So the next time you play an app or fire up a video game, think of Walter and Ottumwa.
Who would believe that could happen? But this small little village, in a sense, here in the middle of Iowa, essentially, is the place that's revered as the cultural birthplace, like the cradle of video game playing for the whole world.
Pretty cool stuff. Now later tonight, Ottumwa will actually host a screening for the new video game film from Disney, Wreck-It Ralph, as tomorrow has been declared by both the city and Disney Wreck-It Ralph Day there. As for the documentaries, you can catch Chasing Ghosts on Netflix, and a new one, The King of Arcades, is now in production. That game Buster Ball will be available on your iPad in the next few weeks.